Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Finally, reverend Nigerians have decided to approach the court for justice and verdict. Don't forget that Obong Ibaksete was the sole administrator for a while in Rivers State, and many Nigerians were demanding for accountability for the 6 months reign he had. Well, there's a court ruling to that effect. We're going to give full details of what transpired, the drama that transpired in court, and the verdict that was given eventually. According to the news we gathered, the suit was filed by Incorporated Trustee of Refs Bridge Peace Initiative. They've actually asked the court to compel the federal government and other parties, including the president, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Vice Admiral Ibas, to refund all Rivers State funds expanded since the emergency rule took effect in March 2025. Now, according to the drama that took part in the court, counsel to the claimant ought to have done proper research before initiating the suit. The judge said it's a filing matter that avoid from the onset wastes valuable judicial time and undermines justice system. Now, he added that the judiciary was already burdened with numerous commercial, civil, and criminal matters, warning against frivolous filings. He said, and I quote, he said, "A void process cannot activate jurisdiction of this court," he added. "This action is dead on arrival." He said the plaintiff request to have the case transferred to Port Harcourt Division was also denied. Now, the justice involved here is Justice Omotosho, who explained that federal high courts are only permitted to transfer cases to other divisions with valid subject matter jurisdiction. Now, transferring the case to a division that also lacks jurisdiction is an exercise in futility, he stated. And the proper course is to strike out the case in its entirety. And the second suit on LGA appointment also dismissed. In a related ruling, the court also struck out another suit, FHC/PH/CS/46/2025, which challenged IBA's authority to appoint sole administrators for all 23 local government areas in Rivers State. Again, the judge sided with IBA's legal counsel, which is Kehinde Ogunwumiju, is a senior advocate of Nigeria's son, who argued that the plaintiff lacked local standing, which is the legal right to institute the case. The applicants are merely concerned citizens, not suspended officials or directly affected parties, the judge said. Without the consent of the sole administrator being obtained and attached, this suit has no legs to stand on. That's what they said. They said they should get the consent of Ibasete for them to be able to even file a suit. Now, the third suit challenging suspension of Governor Fubara also fails. Now, Justice Omotosho had earlier dismissed another suit that questioned the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, also stemming from the emergency declaration in Rivers. The suit with number FHC/PH/CS/51/2025, filed by a group of individuals claiming to represent Rivers residents, has sought to invalidate the president's action, including the appointment of a sole administrator and the removal of elected officials. Once again, the court held that such matters fall outside the purview of the Federal High Court. Now, in the lead case of FHC/PH/CS/43/2025, the following were listed as defendants: the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas. The plaintiffs have argued that funds from Rivers Consolidated Revenue Funds were expended illegally, violating Section 120, 121, and 287 sub 1 of the Constitution and defying Supreme Court orders related to the Rivers political crisis. Now, but the court rejected all claims and dismissed the suit as lacking merit and legal standing. Now, this court cannot usurp powers granted to the Supreme Court. Justice Omotosho again concluded that the suits are hereby dismissed in their entirety. Now, but this was how it all began. Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has actually dismissed all lawsuits seeking the refund of public funds allegedly spent by retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, the sole administrator of Rivers State, ruling that it lacks the jurisdiction to hear the matter. Delivering judgment on this matter, Justice James Omotosho held that the subject of the case, stemming from presidential declaration of a state of emergency, falls squarely within exclusive jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. He now said that only the Supreme Court can determine the legality of a presidential proclamation of a state of emergency, the judge ruled. Now, this case or this court by law lacks the jurisdiction to entertain claims brought before it. Now, the suit was filed by these incorporated trustees of Rev Bridge Peace Initiative. Now, for want of knowledge, there was a case like that some 3 days ago, of which also this same Justice Omotosho was the one that presided over that case, and he struck it out. 3 more cases have come after that. It was still the same Justice Omotosho that's been given the mandate to rule on this case. He's just striking all of them out, telling them that if anyone must even stand, they should go and get order from Ibokete Ibas that he should be the one saying that it is not right for it to even stand. Now, my colleague is in the house with all of this. Them insisting that Supreme Court should sit is the only one that have final jurisdiction. And Supreme Court is even not sitting. And now, with all of these verdicts, what do you make of this judicial standing?
Well, I think that at this point, everyone is trying to avoid sending out a message that will conflict with the Constitution and also with the president.
But why is he even striking it up? They should have just said they should just push it to Supreme Court, because they were saying can they transfer this case to Port Harcourt? They said no, that they can't transfer the case to Port Harcourt. They even struck it out.
Yes,
they wanted to go to Supreme Court.
They lack the local standing to address such case because it's a constitutional issue that is meant for the Supreme Court to handle. And the reason why that is happening is because the first plaintiff, as the first people who started up this case, started it up with the Supreme Court. I was talking about the PDP
but up till now, said we have never seen it.
Everyone is using the opportunity to avoid conflicting the Constitution. Now this is they're only trying to pretend. We all know that the president does not have the constitutional right he has the right to bring in state of emergency, based on the sections in this, I think 305 or so. But the issue of sole administrator
and suspending a
sitting governor, the president does not. The House of Assembly, that's a NAS, does not have that right. So what is going on right now is they don't want to conflict with the Constitution and also with the presidency and the National Assembly. So let the Supreme Court be the one to handle it, because there is a representation from the presidency about this case in Supreme Court, and that's this guy, the Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, Fagbemi also. He's the one handling the case there. And there was a startup to the case where they wrote their objections to the Supreme Court. Up till now, they've not elected the justices
that will
sit on that list. I believe most of them are saying, I don't want to be part of this because I know that this government will come and go. But whatever I say will be used as a precedent in future, and it will not all go well for me because it will be a clear breach of the provision of the Constitution. And so I think that's the reason why all these other small guys are running away from it. No court will entertain that particular case until when Supreme Court wakes up to deal with it.
That's too bad. That means the third arm of the government is really not living up to its billing. Well, that's what we'll wrap it up. Let's meet